Okay, Year 7s, we are going to be making our middle layer of our edge-lit lamp base this morning. So using the following dimensions on the screen here, you'll make the cutout for the LED strip and then also the cord, including the curved corners that we showed you last lesson. So without further ado, we'll get a start on it. So new, just remember when we're starting a new file, we want to change it to millimeters just in case it hasn't been used. And get into the right section. So as you can see at the top here, there's all sorts of different models of canvases you can create, and depending on what you're doing, we'll have different settings over here. So I'm just going to do the print setting. Now over on the right hand side, you can see all the different defaults here. One thing you make sure you need to change is points, because we're making something physical that needs to be certain measurements. We're going to use millimeters. And then just to make it easy to see everything, we're going to make it 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. So that's the size of our canvas we're working on. You can save the name of the project here. So we can go edge-lit lamp middle layer. So that's ready to go. You can put your name on that, but we'll upload it to Daymap shortly, which will put your name in the file anyway. So we'll hit create. Got a blank canvas similar to what we've got going on here. All right, so now we're going to talk through the menus again. So over on the left hand side, you should see a menu something like this. If it differs, what you can do is go up to this little menu up here next to the minimize button, which basically says switch workspace. So what that means is there's all sorts of different layouts you can pick from depending on what you're doing. So if you're doing, let's say you're doing something with a touchscreen, you'd use that. If you're doing more of a hand painting one, you'd use that. Generally for Illustrator, I like using the Essentials Classic because it gives you this double menu down the left-hand side and opens up some menus that you can't see and helps you not get lost as easy. So if that's not on Essential Classic, click Essential Classic. I'll just show you one. Sometimes it comes in getting started, which might be for you. So it should look something like this. Let's open it up to Essentials Classic. So you've got the full menu there. If it switches back, oh, it's there. Okay, now we're good. All right, bear with me, some of those little menus pop up and stay up. So we're going to use the rectangle tool first. So we're going to switch back to this one. So the first step we're going to draw is the 150 by 50 rectangle, which is the outside edge of that. So you can click and drag and roughly get the right size, remembering that all your dimensions live up here. So a couple of things with the dimension box up here, or the transform box, sorry, is this is the X and Y coordinate. So if I move the X, it'll move the box. Noticing that the little center of the Rubik's Cube logo, which I like to call it, is in the middle. So the center of this, that little blue dot, is 50 millimeters from the top and 50 millimeters from the left. So X and Y, and as we free transform that move back in there, you'll see those dimensions change. So what we're going to change here is 150, and I'm hitting tab there, by the way, so go down, or you can just click in it, by 50. One thing you might notice just here, I've got the little lock button off, so that just maintains your aspect or your width and height proportions as it says there. So if that's locked and I change it to 100, it'll change the height as well. All right, so just something to be wary of. So that's our first bit. As I showed you yesterday, the align tool is really helpful to try and make it all centered, which will help you in the long run. So for this one, we're just going to go horizontal axis and vertical align as well. So that's now right in the middle, and you can see on the X and Y, that middle dot is 100 and 100 because we've made our overall canvas 200 by 200 millimeters. Okay, next bit, the slot for our rectangle, for our LED strip, sorry. So that's going to be 100 millimeters long by 10 millimeters high. Generally, most LED strips you get 10 millimeters wide. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do this slightly differently. What you can do, rather than clicking and dragging, we're just going to click once, and now it pops up with a little dialog box which has the rectangle dimensions. So if you're doing lots of precise things, you can type and go like this. You can see that puts it just in there, wherever you clicked first with the icon. And then same thing, we can align this horizontally and vertically. So now that's right in the middle of our work. So that's in the right spot now. So that's the first bit done. Now we're going to try, probably the more complex part of this level is getting this chord to flow around. All right, so again, remember I've got on here that it's 6 millimeters. You can always measure the chord. They can range from, I was about to say 6 to 7 mil, but there's chords that range from 3 to 8 millimeters. So depending on the chord that you get, you can do that. So 6 millimeters is a nice safe middle measurement. All right, so what we'll do from here is we're going to draw a series of 6 millimeter high rectangles. Again, this does not have to be perfect. We're going to zoom in a little bit. So remember, zoom is Control or Command plus minus, and Control 0 to go full screen again. All right, so now what we might do, we might make this a little bit shorter. So we might do it 50. Oh, aspects on, my apologies. So now we're going to drag this one in place. So we need 2 horizontal rectangles, and then we need 2 vertical rectangles. So I'm just going to align this one in the center so that the chords come out the side of the LED nice and straight. Copy that one. We're going to drag this one down for the returning piece. We might stretch this one back out to 100. Again, this doesn't have to be exact science or exact measurements, as long as they overlap, because I think overlapping rectangles in this particular model is good. I'm just going to copy that one. Now we're going to rotate this. So to rotate, I'm just going to zoom right in. You can hold over the corner, click and drag, and it should lock in at 90. You can also use the dialog box up here with the angle setting. So now zoom back out. About halfway in between the LED strip and the edge is good. And then we'll copy and paste that one, and then bring that down so that it overlaps there. Now I'd normally put this in the center, just so it comes out the middle of the back. So that's basically what we've got. You can leave these boxes white at the moment. You can select all and then change it to, which is this button here, the red cross or red sash is no fill. So that one now you can see all the lines overlapping. So last bit for this to bring our chord all into one piece is to select all. You can either do Control A or just select it all with your cursor. Now over here is our shape builder tool. You can use the shortcut Shift M if you want to, once you get really good at this. But as the little dialog shows you there, basically it's combining a series of different shapes. In this case, the ovals to create a cloud. What we're going to be doing here is bringing this over to create our chord. So as you select or hover over a piece, it should basically infill it with a mesh of grey squares. So you can do one at one time, or you can just continue, which I think is a little bit more cool. Keep going through, so it's all done at once. All right. If you stuff up and you go over a line like that, you just Control Z, undo, and that's fine. So shortcut you can actually delete all the little bits that you don't need, or what you can also do is zoom back out. You can just lift, if I can select it properly, can just lift out the piece that you need, and then just select all the bits that we don't want and delete that out. Now I'm going to bring that back to the middle. Final step is to create the curves on our chord, so a chord slot, so we don't have nice or really sharp edges there that can either pinch the wires, create shorts, or even break the wires on the inside on rare occasions. So we're going to use the white arrow up here, which is the direct selection tool. I'm going to start on the inside of this one first, so you can click on one of the corners. zoom in. All right, I'll click on, I'll hit Control. So now I've got both of those selected. Actually, I'll click back out for a second. Now I'll go direct selection, select that one, and hit Control and hit that one. Oh no, they're all doing it. 1 second, let me try and do these one at a time then. Not sure why that's happening, but let's just give it a go. Now we're good. So I'm going to try and do this one at the same time. That will come back. Let me just try this one more time. For some reason, it's selecting everything at once, which we don't want, because as you can see, it's going to select all the corners at once. Let me just delete this for a second. We'll go back out. Even the pros have a few little errors from time to time, so don't worry. No, for some reason it's still doing all those corners at once, which is what we don't want to do. So let's just do this one first. We'll go to about halfway, about there. This will definitely not be perfect, but you get the idea of it. So now we'll try to do these two. No, same thing, it's not letting me select multiple things at once. I'll bring that to about halfway. Same thing again here. It's pretty close. And then come over to this one, drag this one down to the line. Well, that one goes to red. And then this one down to the line. So that is pretty much your finished middle layer of your edge-lit lamp. So have a go. We've got most of them laser cut, but we can also modify some additional ones if you want to make your cord lower, skinnier, depending on what cable you get. Thanks for watching and good luck.